What is up, guys, and welcome to another Play and Explain from PLO Poker Coaching. We are here playing 1-2 PLO on Ignition, and first decision up here on the top right with blockers here, but not the most relevant given how many straight draws there are out there. So I think we do want to check, and we can make some moves on various cards, that not really being one of them. Don't want to bluff at this point. We have showdown value, and we can obviously river the nuts, and we'll just be folding. Double suited kings against this relatively wide player, min open. We will go ahead and raise, and this guy's been very active. And we're folding here on the top right, and on this board I am actually going to check here, hoping that we can get a free card, but this guy just comes out firing, and this is one of those players that is not bad folding, and we just have the gut shot backdoor flush draw. I mean, he's gonna pot basically every turn, so I think we just want to let this one go early. So we built up some dynamics to the table. This is by far the best table that we're sat, so we can definitely talk through some recreational exploits that we will be making, like this, mainly just because this guy's 3-betting quite a high frequency, but he's also cold calling 3-bets a lot, so I think we'd be missing out on a bit too much value. The SPR here being, 1.5, I'm just going to pot and stack off with a pair and straight blocker and backdoor flush draw. And we do take it down. We don't necessarily have the best seat over here. I would really like to be to the left of this guy. We do have the whale over here, but he is pretty shallow. So these are the two main targets at the table, and they're both to my left, which isn't ideal. And we're seeing how the other tables develop. We do have this guy looks kind of like a potential whale on the top left table, and somewhat mixed over here. These kings are probably good enough to raise with the poster in the mix, and we get 3-bet. Kind of like a snap 3-bet. I'm tempted to kind of stick it in here, to be honest with you. Might be a little punty, but it was not punty, but we get taken down by the Jack 8-4-7 single, so yeah, I mean, my kind of initial read on just the way this guy was acting was correct. Unfortunately, we do not hold. And we'll defend the big blind here against the cutoff open. And we will have some leads on this board. I actually don't mind just leading out. I don't think people see lead outs too much from the big blind, and they tend to give it a decent amount of respect. Just folding here on the bottom left. And raising it up with the connected cards and the ace, even though we're not suited to the ace. We are likely very far ahead of this guy's range when he's playing 60% of hands, although it is a small sample. But the combination of this and his stack size likely means that he is a recreational. Given that at that stack size he should be playing very tight, and the likelihood that he had playable hands is pretty low. So we flop a pen, open ender, no spade. Probably just going to be a check call. Type hand, we won't really have any leads on this board. This is, I mean, kind of dicey. But we are getting a great price. So just checking top right. And on the button, and this guy's quite tight. This guy's wild behind. I'm just gonna call, and we'll obviously stack off against this guy given what we have seen from him. We get a bet and 3 callers. You have nothing to do on here. Here we're obviously calling. And this guy, I feel like likely just has aces at this point. To a half pot size bet, I don't think we can fold, especially given that we can bluff some diamonds. This guy's never folding. Yeah. I don't have enough hands on this guy. Yeah, he does have aces. So, not a great river. He should kind of slow down with his bluffs on this pairing river after betting 2 streets. I would expect him to bet bigger with a straight, so he may have some 2 pairs and sets in his range. He may have a flush draw that he's gonna lightly value bet. I mean, he's not folding to like any bet, so there's just really no need to bet. And he does have ace king. Okay. That's kind of my fault. I was not necessarily paying attention to the stack sizes in play. When I made that call, thinking that I would have bluffing potential on rivers, which if I'd been paying attention to the stack sizes, would have known as nothing when we get to a half pot size bet on the river. And I'm going to be stabbing these paired boards relatively frequently. Obviously, reasonably good for his range, given that he limp called. So any aggression here, we're obviously out. Given that we have 10s, it's a decent enough pair where I'm going to check probably. If we had like 7s and 7, 7, 4, 4, maybe I would bet. And this is pretty weak, but I mean, against this guy, I want to play as many pots as possible in position. Again, I don't think there's really any need to bet. We have some cards that are decent. That is not one of them. And Here we just don't really have enough interaction with the board to make anything happen. Unfortunately, there are not many runouts whereby we can double or triple off with our blockers or future blockers or backdoor equity. So, and we're just checking back here with some showdown. And we have the double gut shot and backdoor flush draw. So I think we have enough equity to just check back here. It would be kind of unfortunate to get check raised. I will likely lead. I will likely c-bet this turn though. Thinking against the half pot size, we do have a call. The issue in reality of this half pot bet though is that it's probably more polarized than what it should be against the pool. I don't really see this bet with a 10. It's usually when they don't have to worry about the runouts. We do see a check. I mean, it feels kind of trappy to me, to be honest, in terms of draws missed. Let's check and try and get me to bet. We have no showdown value though. I mean, I'm just gonna stab here. Yeah, he has the nuts basically. And on these monoboards, I tend to stab obviously ridiculously out of line just because the population is overfolding so much, but that does mean that when you get called, you do have to slow down on turns. And we do see the check back. I mean, we have no straight blockers, we have no diamond. He's not folding a straight. I mean, King 7, maybe he'll fold his set. Depends what we want to try and represent, really. You take it down. Pot size bet on the turn with a very marginal hand. Do have a blocker to the current nuts. I mean, don't really need to get too creative there, I don't think. When you have a recreational potting into you on a board like that with a very weak hand, they are likely not folding. We would be calling a squeeze here with the connected nature of this hand. And up top pair, not much else. We do have a straight draw blocker, no diamond though. With a diamond, I would probably take a swing here. But we do have 3 overs to the 7 to check back and make a bet at 2 pair. Some of those 2 pair are clean too, so I think checking back is the only play here. And we do hit one of our 2 pair. Question is, if we face a bet, do we want to raise? Basically, any river is going to be gross. Don't mind a raise. We do get to play the river in position, obviously. And I do want to fold out any like random marginal equity that this guy has. If we get jammed on, it's not fun, obviously. Checking back here with a pair and a 9-high flush draw. We can check call. Pot size bet again from this guy. Maybe that's his only sizing. Tempted to fold. I mean, we do block some of the combo draws that he would be potting on that river. So in my mind, it makes it more likely that he has a mid hand, even though we block a 10. So I mean, we're obviously not good here, like any portion of the time. So I think that we do just want to lead here, to be honest. And wrap solve a medium flush. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. It's a very strange hand there. He did have the mid hand after he stopped betting, I guess. Yeah, quite a strange one. I mean, it makes sense when you pot the flop with that hand and then turn a jack to check back. And I guess we're not getting him to fold a set there. So we should definitely remember that about that particular player. And squeezing here with the ace queen 10-10 against one very wide player and another relatively wide player. So not expecting folds to the 3-bet, but we'll take fold equity on a good portion of flops where they will whiff a lot more. So that's not one of them. We likely have to check pretty much most of our range on this board. Again, I'm going to be stabbing 1/3 at these boards a lot. And yeah, I mean, these boards overfolded and over-raised. I mean, there's not really many hands that he should have here that he wants to raise with. And it's very heavily skewed towards value, so... flop checks through. This guy checks again. I think we do want to bet now. We can get called, obviously, by some 2 pairs, by flush draws. I potentially open this, but this guy's playing a 50% VPIP. I mean, yeah, we're just folding here. I mean, this is obviously a terrible river. Both the 2 pairs and flush draws that we wanted calling now get there, so we will just be check folding. But this is was a pretty good table. Obviously not great with the short stacks. Ace King Jack against a short player. I mean, I don't think there's enough value there. Do we want to 3-bet these kings? I think with the 3 dangler, probably not. It's going to be somewhat tough to realize our equity with this hand. By check calling. I think that we do have a leading range on this board, though. Maybe we do want to bet this hand. Feels kind of weird to check call. Luckily he bets half pot, which is nice. We can definitely go ahead and check call. And this is a very good card for our range. In general, when in position is betting, they're going to be betting less top pair unless it has some sort of backup or is top two, whereas we are going to check call a lot of top pair. And so it gives us the polarity advantage. So I'm going to lead here with the King of Hearts blocker as well. Not sure I love the play now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, we're really targeting like queens. Think a jack raises, to be honest. We might value cut ourselves against aces. And when we think about our range, because the turn card is so good for our range, we end up betting a large portion of our range, and that means that we end up on the river with actually a weaker range because we're betting so much, so there will be some air in there. So I am actually going to check here, but we do have to find some calls given that my range is somewhat weak. I don't think this is going to be one of them, and he rivers the 6. So, not running too hot. But thinking about the play on the turn, whether we want to bet or not, it's an interesting one to look at and think through. Just because what are we folding out that's better? Nothing. And what are we getting called by that's worse? We really are like targeting queens, folding out some flush draws that have equity against us, I guess, or folding out a hand like a 6, but that obviously has very limited equity against us, and we are very happy getting called by that every time. I mean, he basically had a couple outs, so definitely want to review that turn play. Says queen hand just a little. Is it? Yeah, well, against the raise, we're obviously folding. Even though this guy is so loose, even opening hands like this, I mean, you're just going to be able to punish this guy post-flop. But given that these are both short, and you get into situations like this, which obviously would not be ideal. Hence why we elected to fold. On a positive, we do get this one guy that looks pretty fishy to an 88 big blind stack. And, you know, most of these Broadway pairs with an ace are going to be opens, even in an earlier position. We do end up taking it down there. And probably not even going to defend this against the small blind. Again, not the greatest table over here. I will be definitely defending this hand, even with the deuce in this lineup. And probably no point. Do we want to raise? I guess probably. I mean, even though we don't have nut equity against these guys' ranges, it's probably relatively nutted. Guys are playing close to 100% of hands. Do see a fold though. Two pair backdoor flush draw, not a board that we're gonna have many leads on. We will obviously have leads on the ace. We kind of heavily do block the board. We can obviously stack off in decent shape, most likely. So I think we do just want to bet. We do see the call, snap call. And we rivet the nuts. Unfortunately, I think it's more likely that he has spades after he snap calls, so I don't think we get much action, but let's see. No action. Could check, I guess, if we really think that he only has spades, but I don't think that many people are bluffing for this sort of half pot size bet left on the river. Probably play a few more hands and then wrap up the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm really trying to increase the following and start doing some actual streaming. You know, get a few folks in there so we can answer some questions and do this all live. I mean, I am just recording and uploading these videos as I'm playing, but it would be good to be able to chat with you guys, see what you think about hands in real time or almost real time. And also make sure you check out PLOpokercoaching.com. We have a bunch of articles out there on different aspects of PLO, and also you can sign up for a 30-minute free session. So contact us over there and we will get that sorted for you. Here, I mean, obviously we have a monster hand. I don't think that we're crushing enough whereby we need to check back, especially three-way. We will just bet. This guy hasn't 3-bet in 30 hands, so we're just gonna call here. And somewhat hit the board. We could definitely lead this board, I guess. I mean, he's gonna stab a lot. I think I mean, we could jam, but if we get it in, obviously against a flush draw or like an overpair with a flush draw, we're not looking great. Not the best turn, or not what we were looking for. Okay, our hand somewhat becomes like face up at this point. I mean, he has to be a bit careful in terms of like, it's gonna hit some of my 2-pair rundown hands, but gonna have a lot of checks on this board. And I don't think that we want to do too much raising here. We block some of the straight draws. We do unblock hearts, but we obviously have aces in our hand. So if we do end up getting it in, it's obviously likely against King Jack. We obviously have less room for improvement, being paired in our hand too. So I think calling here is just fine. And not a great turn. So he snap jacks back. So it makes me think that he does have a jack. I think we can get away with like a really small block bet and get called by a jack or just called by a flush draw that he might bet a little bigger with. Do take it down. Under pair and gut shot here, no reason to really bet. This is a pretty good card for my range, to be honest. We block the pair, we block one end of the straight, we block nut hearts. I'm gonna go for a raise. I'm gonna raise fold here on the turn. Ace jack jack on the button with these guys behind. I don't have many hands on them. Seems a little loose, but it's the last one of the video. Let's see what happens. And with City, so we'll just be folding over there, and we do take it down with the raise on the bottom left. So that is going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon, and good luck at the tables out there.